Hey everybody, it's Sandra Bissell from Expat Joy, Passionate Global Living. And today I'm here with Cynthia Jean, who is an expert on essential oils and also a natural health coach. So Cynthia, thank you so much for accepting my invitation to participate in the Expert Friday series. And I'd like to start today. I love looking at your smile in the back there. There's lots of these little bottles I'm seeing from so it sounds so much like fun that I want to learn more, and I'd like to share with the community what it is that we can do with essential oils. So may we start by having you tell us a little bit about your journey into becoming an expert in essential oils, please.
Sure. Well, my journey started probably about 12 years ago, and it was actually before I started using essential oils. So I was the natural health guru in my family, and I was raised by a grandma who was all about the oats and the vinegar. So it started way back when. But as an adult, probably about 10 years ago, I started removing toxins just from our pantry. So I started becoming really familiar with what was in my food. And we had such a great transformation in our digestion and some of those types of things and we were feeling much better, and we were actually eating less food, that I was like, okay, well, my next step is to remove toxins from our cleaning cabinet. So that's when I started making my own laundry soap and my own dish soap and just weird things. People would come over to my house and they didn't know what the powder was. I'd have to tell them what it was. And then they were very curious because I had something that was costing a whole lot less money for my natural products than what they were buying, because they were buying like name brand things that were natural and they're expensive. So that's when I started teaching my family and friends everything that I knew, which then led me to essential oils, because what I found was essential oils are antibacterial, antifungal, and antiviral. A lot of them are, which are perfect for cleaning, right? I know. Who knew? Who knew these plants had all these superpowers?
Awesome. I look forward to hearing about the essential oils throughout our chat this afternoon. However, you got my attention there. A few months ago, I asked you to send me a recipe for a laundry detergent, right?
Right.
And, I haven't tried it yet. Sorry, life has
been a little busy.
A little bit. I have been traveling quite a bit these days, but I found that, when I looked at your recipe, I thought, wow, this is not going to cost me much money at all.
Right.
And, it wasn't very complicated to do. So I thank you for sending me that recipe. And I look forward to trying it out once I settle down. And
my pleasure.
I'm doing very well with my cleaning products. But I'm sure you can teach us a little bit about essential oils. And in preparation for our chat today, I went to my fridge and got some, rosemary, and I had ginger there. I had, a lemon, it's an old one, and some, even lavender. I found some around the house. So these are all products, not products. This is what essential oils are made of, right?
That's right. Yes. So
the difference, if I get the lemon here and I get it and I try to smell it, is it the same?
It's not the same. So I want to ask you, how much would 45 organic lemons cost you?
Oh gosh, have you been to Whole Foods recently?
Right? So this bottle of essential oil has 45 lemons. The peels, the rind, actually made this bottle of essential oil. So it has 250 drops of very, very concentrated essential oil in it. And because there's no fillers or additives or any kind of pesticides or anything, it's actually better than the fruit, because these oils are grown where they're optimal in the earth, where they have perfect temperature, perfect soil, perfect everything, so you can use them as medicine. And they're indigenous in those areas. So a lot of these farmers don't even know what pesticides are. Isn't that great?
Wow, that's an incredible answer. It's
incredible, right? So this bottle costs around $10 for 250 uses.
You pay like for 4 or 5 lemons, you might be paying anything from $4 to $7,
right?
know, this season, you know that, right? Or
Yeah,
even more. So yes, if they're
right.
organic, right?
If
So
they're organic, and it's really important. And another reason why I really love buying these oils, besides what they do for my family, and that it's about 4 cents a drop,
yes,
is that whenever I use them, I'm supporting a family across the world, because there's families and farmers that we work directly with to get these essential oils. So I really, really love that.
Cynthia, I didn't know that either. So there's lots that you're going to be telling us through the talk, or we can learn more about it later on. So right now, the stage or the screen as we have right now, it's all yours. Please
Great,
teach
great,
us a
thank
little
you.
bit about what can we do with essential oils to
Well,
fit our lives, right?
oh, right. There's so many benefits, but what I really want to talk about today are the emotional benefits of essential oils,
Okay.
because emotions, we feel before we think. I don't know if you've ever really thought about that.
Oh, yeah.
Like when we have an experience, it's our reaction to that experience is based on our history and all the things that have happened within our life, and kind of all those compounded together. And so my reaction to a certain situation is going to be different than somebody else's, because they have a different story.
Yes.
And the wonderful thing about essential oils is just by breathing them in, you're going to affect your brain in really beautiful ways. And so you're going to evoke different feelings. So if you're having an overwhelming feeling, you can change it. You can actually control that with essential oils. And I love that about that. So,
Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay. Go ahead. You.
okay. So, well, I have I have like a whole presentation for you, because I didn't want to forget anything. And that's kind of,
I appreciate
it tends to be what happens.
it.
Okay, great. Okay, can you see that there? It says emotions and essential oils. Take the wheel.
Mhm.
Okay, so I put this together because I like to kind of play on words and make things really fun and not too serious. And I know that sometimes I feel like my emotions are sitting in the driver's seat of a car, and they're the ones that are doing all the driving. And sometimes I just want to take that wheel back. And so that's what I feel like is happening when I use essential oils. I'm taking control of that car, and I'm sitting in the driver's seat instead. So do you ever feel like your emotions are running you, Sandra?
Yeah, most definitely. Yes. You know, I have the intention of not doing that. And I want to be the leader in my life, of course, but from time to time, and it can be cyclical for many women,
Yeah.
there is the feeling that, you know, my emotions are in charge instead of Sandra being in charge.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes that happens. And it's totally normal. We're all human. And this is how we connect with other people too, is by having emotions. So it's a wonderful thing. It's kind of a superpower that we have, really, if you
Mm.
think about it in that way. We're not robots. And
Thank
how good is that? So to just kind of describe to you what is happening in your body when you're having an experience and you're having an emotional reaction, you can kind of think of it like the response cycle. So if you're living through life, you're just doing your thing, life happens, right? You have an experience, and then your brain interprets that experience. So that's your emotional response.
Yes.
And then by doing that time and time again, a habit forms, and that's your chemical response. So when you have a certain emotion, you've got chemical responses going on in your brain. And so that's what then either has serotonin or dopamine, or, there's hundreds of different hormones, but
Of course.
that's a chemical response in your brain. And then when you have that chemical response, it then leads you to the physical response. So that's where you learn and where you have memories forming and where your beliefs are formed.
I
So
see.
time and time again, as you have these experiences, you're creating these things. And I kind of think of them like a rut in the road.
Okay.
Okay, that physical response. So then it just kind of becomes a habit. So a cyclical thing. Altogether, you create this filter of which you experience life through, and it repeats, right? It just kind of goes on and on. It's a cycle, the response cycle. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, totally. Yes, we are.
Yeah.
We create a habit because we have been doing it for many, many times, right? It's
Right.
that's the reason why when we talk about smells, like Christmas comes and we walk into the house, and if we grew up in a house where we always had cookies starts to become something that, when we smell it, we're like, oh, Christmas is coming. So
Right.
it's interesting, right?
Right. Yeah. And That's a special part of our brain, which I'm going to show you in a little bit, called the limbic system of our brain. And that's where your memories are stored, and why it is when you smell something, it triggers that memory. So it's a pretty cool thing happening in our bodies and our brains. Well, what I want to talk about here is emotional cruise control. You can think of it like GPS, right? Except for it's EPS. Like, get it? Okay. So based on individual perception and interpretations of your life experiences, each of us kind of built our own unique superhighways, which are neural networks. And if you were on the call with Terry in the past, you know a little bit about neural pathways. So I was really fascinated to hear what she had to say about that.
I had the opportunity of listening to Terry a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it was really, really exciting for me, because I'm like, oh, I'm going to talk about that a little bit.
You know, people in our community already heard Terry. Now they know what to expect from you, right? With emotional control.
Yeah. I know. See, it was all meant to be. It was beautiful.
Always.
So those neural pathways are our programmed responses, and we learn from experience, and our brain intentionally establishes these memorized routes for later use. So that kind of keeps us safe and comfortable. Which is a good thing if we are in a safe and comfortable environment our entire life. But if we're not, then sometimes those pathways aren't safe and comfortable, and that's when you need therapy and things like that to really help understand that those aren't a safe thing for you to be doing. So when recognizable circumstances occur, it's kind of like switching on cruise control. So our brain takes the wheel, utilizing our EPS, our emotional positioning system, or our habitual pre-programmed pathways of emotional responses. So you can see how it was really fun kind of putting this idea together.
Yes, and I love this photo here. It's like more.
Right. So now we're going to move on to the backseat drivers. Sometimes our established emotional response routes they're no longer effective. They kind of inhibit our ability to respond in new ways. And this can prove to be really difficult to reprogram. Additionally, repeated use of these go-to pathways, they trigger the predictable release of certain chemicals within the brain, and these chemicals can create habits that are really hard to break. Right?
What I'm hearing right now, Cynthia, is that by using essential oils, we can there's a possibility, I know you're going to say there's a certainty there, but I will still say a possibility that I rewire my brain.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. It's really exciting science. Yes, because sometimes you can kind of feel like your emotions are running you because they're your backseat driver, and you're kind of stuck of being in those ruts, your well-traveled responses. So sometimes you can't even change lanes. You're like, the process has already begun. I can't even change lanes. But luckily, what we've got with essential oils is roadside assistance.
I love that.
Yeah. So this can give you much needed hope on how to address emotions that we're so used to having. And this can give your brain some support that it needs without any side effects of artificial stimulants or sedatives. So that's really exciting too.
Also a natural way to rewire our brains without relying on perhaps medicine that we're not going down that path. We
don't need to go down that path, but just know that there's very little, if any, side effects to using essential oils, which is really an optimal thing, because then you can just use them when you need them and then move on.
Awesome.
You can kind of get back into that driver's seat of your emotions with aromatherapy. It's really a superb and proven method for influencing chemicals and emotional responses in your brain.
Wow.
So it's very exciting. I'm going to show you how that works here. Okay. So you can see this beautiful picture. So aromas have a direct route to the amygdala and the limbic brain, which is where emotions and memories are stored. Their messages cannot be blocked by the subconscious mind, by your cruise control. And yeah, when you breathe in an aroma, you actually can, they are the only actual real super easy way, without like opening your brain, to get to your brain. So just breathing in aroma. You can think of when you breathe in a rose, when you pick a flower and you breathe it in, your body just kind of melts away all the stress. Or when you smell those cookies that you remember baking every holiday, how it evokes those feel-good chemicals in your brain because it's unlocking those memories. So when you use an essential oil and you introduce that to your nose, you have new positive stimulus. And the wonderful thing about that is you can interrupt old mental, emotional response patterns and create new ones.
Okay.
You can stimulate multiple regions of your brain, including those controlling endocrine, immune, and limbic, which is the emotional center functions. And the effect is direct and profound. It enters the deepest levels of the body, emotions, and the psyche.
Hmm.
So just simply by breathing in those little tiny molecules of the essential oil.
Cynthia, it's so interesting because we know many stores that use smells to brand, their brand, right? So you walk into a store and you know immediately where you are, or you walk into a coffee shop and you know which season you are in. So
so true.
Fall time, pumpkin, everywhere you smell pumpkin smells, right? Or
right.
Christmas is eggnog, and it varies.
Yeah, or cinnamon, right? The pine cones.
they're preparing, they're using what our brain already knows, and so the pathways you're talking about, they're relying on that information that a culture has, right? Each culture has different ones.
That's true.
Use that so wisely and to their benefit. So here, by choosing to use the same knowledge, we can really become a leader in how we perceive our environment.
It's very true. It's very true. In fact, what I have started to do is on certain holidays, like my anniversary, for example, I have a special blend of oils that I put together that I really like. And I diffuse them in my house. I put them on my body only on those special occasions. So that way, if later on I'm a little angry or frustrated with my husband or whomever, I can then smell that smell, and it brings back all those really good feelings that I had of us being in love and spending time together and prioritizing each other.
That's a brilliant idea. Love it, because people get a little upset with our spouses from time to time.
Sometimes,
human, right? It's how it is. But we can on purpose decide, I don't want to feel those feelings right now, and I will rely on my nose and my whole system to have those good feelings instead.
Awesome. Oh, and likewise, if my husband comes home grumpy, I could just have him smell that smell, and then he can have those same good feelings too.
Training your spouse very nicely. I love it.
Right? Okay, so I'm going to show you, I'm going to do a little bit of an exercise here called Name That Feeling.
Okay.
Okay, so this is one of the tools that I love to use. This is a wheel. We're all really fond of wheels, right? They can help us.
They're fun, right? Easy to understand.
Yep, and this kind of fits my theme of take the wheel of your emotions.
Yes.
So our little Name That Feeling. I want you to think about your day, and you can either use the wheel or you can use the quadrant, either one. And I want you to identify right in the middle there what it is that you may have felt today, just one feeling.
I am packing to go on a trip tomorrow morning. So I had a little bit of stress, throughout my day as I tried to do everything and close the house.
Yeah, sure. So would you say that is, are you looking at the circle or the quadrant?
Well, just here, you said, at the quadrant. So fatigue, stressed.
Okay. Yes, so stressed. Okay. So you can see there, this is a very simple tool. When you look at the word stress, it's going to then either point you to balance, which is on the left, or elevation, which is on the right. So would you say that you are feeling more tense and worried or more hopeless and withdrawn?
Maybe tense.
Okay, tense and worried. This is actually one of my favorite essential oils, Sandra. This one's called Balance.
Okay.
And it is a beautiful blend of very grounding oils and tree oils. And if you can think about a tree, what a tree looks like, it's got the roots that go down, and then it's got the branches that come up, and how beautiful they are. Yeah. So as you are breathing in this essential oil, you feel more grounded, more one with the earth, and then also you can bloom up and grow, and you can move on.
Oh. Wow.
Okay. Yeah. So a really simple way to use it is I just put one drop in my hand.
Yeah.
I rub my hands together when I'm feeling stressed, tensed, and worried, and then just breathe it in.
So I'm putting you on this so people can see what you're doing. Oh, that's
okay.
Okay, so you can just breathe it in. Okay, I
Yeah, just
have the
simply.
oil here. I'll use lavender instead because
Yep,
that's the only
perfect.
one I have.
Perfect. So just one drop in your palm.
Yeah,
Rub your palms together.
yeah.
And then you can take some just really good belly breaths like you are doing yoga. And lavender is a perfect oil to do this with. I also like to rub it on the back of my neck.
You
And
must
maybe
smell good all the time.
I do get people hugging me a lot more often.
Oh, I like that. I'm a
Yeah.
hugger myself, so.
Yep. And then if I'm wearing a scarf, I like to put it on my scarf. When my hair is longer, I'll put it in my hair also.
Oh, awesome. It's all natural, so there's no problem, right?
That's right. That's right. So you're not going to get any side effects from this, unlike synthetics. So if you're having, some people will say that they have problems with fragrances.
Yes.
And oftentimes they don't have problems with essential oils because they are natural and there's no synthetics in them.
Perfect.
So it's typically the synthetic that they're having a reaction to.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
In
So
the
there's your little.
Cynthia, just to add one more thing, just the action that you took there. You stopped and you went for the feeling you were experiencing, and then you took a moment to breathe. And you brought in these wonderful feelings to your body by taking care of it. So it's just perfect. The whole exercise.
Very, very, very simple self-care regimen right here. It just takes 60 seconds or so. You name that feeling. What's that?
I was going to say, as women who are busy and life is
Right.
busy days, right? Sometimes we forget and we think, oh, self-care means I have to take a whole day, go to the spa. Not really. We did that in what? A few seconds. Yep.
A few seconds. And hitting it right in that moment is super important because that's when the feeling is amped. And if you don't take care of it or help process it, then it just kind of builds up, right? You can think of like little irritations throughout the day, and then by the time you get home in the evening, you're like explosive.
And then even the oils for your spouse may not work anymore.
May not work. Yes. So more specifically, kind of what I found through my years of research and working with emotions, is that this is really the very first step in processing your feelings, is taking that deep breath, collecting your thoughts, and naming your feeling. Even if you can do that with no essential oils at all, that's really a big, big step in self-care, is naming that feeling, because once you name it, it gives it less power.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the one thing you can do to make a difference on how you experience your day. But taking that time to pause, looking at the quadrant to sometimes you don't know what you're feeling, you got to have like a list. Sometimes. And then this is a great tool because it matches up with a specific essential oil blend. And I really love the single oils too, but what I super love about the blends is that they're specifically developed to evoke certain chemical reactions in your brain.
I see.
So I really love that. But we're going to talk a little bit about the another awareness exercise, which is with an app that I love. So I'm going to give you another tool here. It's called the Essential Emotions app.
Okay.
And as I was preparing for today, I asked you, Sandra, I said, please tell me what your group needs. What is it that they often will say that they're struggling with? And you said clarity, confidence, belonging, and purpose. And so I just
clarify why I told you those emotions. When anyone, even anyone is going through a transition, be it a life transition, like a divorce, a death in the family, or perhaps going back to work or deciding to stay at home or going through retirement, or if one is moving to a different country, a different location alone. It's normal to not have clarity at that moment. It goes out of the window because, well, our support system is gone, right? So the reason why I chose these feelings. So thank you for, doing some research for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel these feelings often. And yes, it is during usually a transition that they kind of come together, and then it's a big mess of feelings. So by being able to part it out and having a tool like this emotions app or a book or the wheel that I just showed you or the quadrant, those tools are going to be super helpful. But The thing that I really love about this tool is our phones are with us all the time, right? So we don't have to worry about losing it. And then what I'm not going to show you here is you can also look, if you have an essential oil, you can look up the oil and you can see what benefits it's going to give you as far as emotional support. And another great thing is there's a body tab. So most of us can discuss exactly what's happening with our body. Oh, we have a pain in our neck. We've got our elbows twitching, our eyes like doing something here, right? Our back is not, I can't get straight. Like you can tell what's going on in your body. I've got pain in my stomach, nausea, any of those things. So those tabs are great too. But since we're talking about emotions here today, I just want to show you how this app works with that.
Awesome.
So I just opened the app and then I clicked on the emotion tab and they're in alphabetical order and I found the feelings. So clarity, confident, belonging, purposeless. And I'm going to use purposeless as a sample here because it's using one of my favorite oils, which is frankincense. So
I'm going to stop you right there if that's
okay.
I didn't know what it was. So I went online and did a little research, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I found out that it's a French, an old French word, right? That means frank, how do they say? Frank incense. Frank
Yes.
as the currency. So it would be a highly priced incense. So the best incense. I'm like, how interesting. I love
best incense. Yeah.
So, tell me why you like it so much.
Well, I like it so much because it's got a lot of really awesome functions from a cellular standpoint. So it absorbs into your skin. All these essential oils are lipophilic, which means they absorb into your skin really quickly. They don't clog your pores or anything like a vegetable oil. So they absorb in quickly and then they start working with your cells. And frankincense is the oil for cellular function. So you can think about your cells and when they're unhealthy and unhappy, what happens into your body. So this is going to promote health and wellness and vitality. But from an emotional standpoint, it is the oil that just melts away all the stress from my body. I don't care what it is that I'm feeling. If it's any kind of emotional discord, I can use frankincense to help with that. So
thank you.
Yeah. I discovered frankincense actually as my gram was transitioning from this world to her heavenly world. And I spent a lot of time with her. She was a deep mentor to me and just she was my soul sister in a lot of ways. And using this essential oil throughout that experience, it was about a 3-month time. We became very good friends. So Frank and Cynthia are now super good friends. So I would diffuse it every single morning and I just kept it in my pocket. And anytime I had an emotional reaction to something, when it was a time that I needed to process it quickly and not sit in it too long because I was organizing her funeral and I was talking to family members that didn't want to talk to each other and all those things.
Wow.
Sometimes things are a mess that way. So that's when I built my relationship with frankincense and now I use it all the time. It's wonderful for your skin too. So I just put it in my face moisturizer every day.
Wow.
Put it on my neck so that way my neck looks like a 20-year-old when I'm 100.
Now I know your secret. That's and radiant skin. Thanks for sharing.
Yes, absolutely. Now you can do it too. Yes. Okay, so if you were to use frankincense with this particular tool, you've identified your feeling, that you're feeling purposeless or you're lacking purpose. It tells you the oils you can use, Roman chamomile or frankincense. Now, if you were in the app, you could actually click on frankincense and learn all about it.
Awesome. Wow, this app sounds like
yep, it's pretty wonderful. So then processing support. So this is a really key piece that sometimes people skip over because they don't know how to do it. Yeah. And that's why this app is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So processing support, you can look a little deeper. So it tells you exactly what to do. Look deeper. What's missing in my life? Who can I help me find the direction that I'm seeking? Maybe it's my expat group.
Okay.
Am I in need of physical direction or emotional direction? Maybe I need to reach out to my coach, Sandra. Like, what is it that I'm looking for here? What kinds of questions can she ask me that maybe I'm not recognizing?
Or by looking at this and understanding, again, we are talking about stopping for a moment and going for whatever it is we are feeling, paying attention to it and trying to name it. So we are doing the same process, yet in a different way, which that alone is empowering. So yes, we
Absolutely.
can then use the essential oils. We can perhaps talk to a mentor, but just stopping for, that first step, the awareness piece, is just, it can shift everything right
It
there.
really can.
It doesn't take very long. And with an app such as this, you can do it quickly. As you said, it's always in our, we have our phones with us, so it's easy to use. So
Yeah,
thanks for sharing this tool with us.
absolutely. Yes. So there's also a declaration statement too, so you don't have to figure that out. And then you can a visualize process too. See yourself standing strong and immovable, grounded in a golden pathway of abundance with light of truth flowing through the crown of your head and filling your body.
Also, it has affirmations as well.
Yeah. Isn't that beautiful?
That's gorgeous.
It's such a great tool.
Wow.
Yeah, I got very, very excited when I saw how because every year they do a little bit of an update.
Yeah.
And I just think this is so perfect. I don't know how they would improve upon it, but I'm sure they will.
Yeah. And we are going to become more like, we want more as well. So
Right.
successes. I love it. I love successes, and success can mean so many things. So tell me.
Yeah, so this is just your daily success tips. So how do you build new habits?
Okay.
Really, to get back into the driver's seat of your emotions. So you can use these 4 tips. Number 1, identify the emotion to overcome. Number 2, choose the best oil for support. Number 3, read about it for awareness. And number 4, use it aromatically and topically. So we talked about aromatic, right?
Yeah.
You can just put it in your hand, breathe it in, or you can use a diffuser. There's a really special tool where you can infuse the whole room, and that's kind of sneaky and great for families.
Yes. Kids get get to learn a little bit about essential oils.
Right?
Get
Right.
the benefits without having to fight with them. Gotcha.
Yes. So I'll take wild orange. That's another one of my favorite oils is wild orange. And because it's very uplifting, it's also great for focus. And sometimes I get a little upset tummy. And so it's great for digestion too. So I can either put it in my water, because these are pure essential oils with no fillers or any kind of junk.
Okay.
I can put a drop in my water and drink it, and it's going to be settling to my stomach too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Plus, it's like sunshine shoots out the bottle. This was the first oil that I gave you, right, Sandra?
I love that oil. I don't have it right now, but
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, and a little secret too. Wild orange is the oil of abundance. So that's why I gave it away to everyone at Lifestyle Live.
Well, I love it because I come from a city in Brazil, a little personal story, which is called Limeira, which used to be the capital of oranges and lemons and limes in Brazil. So my favorite fruit are oranges. I love it. So when you gave to me, I'm like, oh, this is perfect.
So happy. So happy, right? So those are pretty simple steps, right?
It's very simple.
Very simple steps. Okay, well, that's most of what I have to share with you today. So now I just want to share with you what my free gifts are.
Yes. So, and please tell us, Cynthia, tell us about your free gifts, which I will post in the comments once I, in Facebook and on the blog. But tell me a little bit, what do we get from, if we go for your free gifts?
Okay. So your free gifts. The first one is on the left there, is called the Vitality Survey. So if you have been kind of like, I know about essential oils, or maybe I have some, I don't really know how to use them, or maybe you're saying to yourself, I'm really kind of tired of having these health issues, and I'm not happy with the results that I've been getting elsewhere, and I want to try something natural. But there's so much information out on the internet, right? Like, there's so much information, and you don't really know
yes.
if it's good information. Like, I'm going to try this. This is kind of a gamble. So you can tap into my 10 years of experience and resources, and you can fill out my Vitality Survey, and I will create a customized report to you, for you specifically, according to what it is that your body needs and which essential oils are going to be most beneficial for you. So it takes all the guesswork out of it.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And I think it's like 3 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a really quick survey. It's like a 3-minute health quiz. So it's nothing too complicated. Okay, so that's the first thing. The other thing is, if you enjoyed the subject today, the material that I shared, and you would like to learn about it in a different way, so this is video, right? live video. Sometimes things pass on. You're like, wait, I want to take notes on that, or I really wanted to absorb that. Then my other gift is my e-course on Take the Wheel of Your Emotions with Essential Oils. So it will be sent to your email over a week. So you can absorb a little chunk of it every single day and really start to understand this whole concept of aromatherapy and how it can benefit you from a scientific standpoint and an emotional standpoint.
Wow, it sounds lovely. So for Cynthia, I will ask you to stop sharing now so we can go back. Now we are back. So I love your free gifts, and I love that you opened the channel for those who want to learn more, to even have a chat with you. So if you are interested, Cynthia is your girl. She is the expert here today. Sorry, because I know her personally. I went a little too intimate here, but forgive me.
I'm your girl. Sandra, it's all good.
We are women, girls, we are everything. And that's the beauty of being who we are, right, Cynthia?
Absolutely.
So I really learned a lot today, because I do like, smells are very important for me. Throughout my whole house, I have little things, little incense, because I like it. I enjoy it. Brings me pleasure. So I tend to have them around. But I didn't know I could drink my essential oil. So that...
Okay. I do want to put a little disclaimer in there.
Oh, thank you, please.
Yes, there is a little disclaimer.
Things, yes.
I researched and I studied for about 2 years on which essential oils I wanted to use in my family, because they were safe, they were effective, and they didn't have any impurities. So, and this brand is the only one that I found.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really important to know, that you shouldn't go to the grocery store and put that essential oil in your water, because most of those essential oils have not been tested. There's actually no standard. There's no global standard for testing. So,
let's see.
So don't do that.
I'm
the
glad
big thing is,
I want our listeners to just go and start drinking stuff.
Right. Don't do that. It would be like drinking perfume. Can you see the supplement fact label?
Not really, but I can see it's one. There's one there. Yeah.
Okay. So if it says supplement facts on it, then you know that it can be used internally.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Thanks
and I will say that if it does not have a supplement fact label and it's called orange, it's perfume. It's not actually an essential oil, even though it might say that it is.
Perfect. I'm glad I asked, because there's so much confusion really about essential oils. So that's why I thought, well, let me ask, because yes, there's one thing to put in the diffuser some oils and smell them, but even doing that, you're inhaling it. But
even doing that, you're not doing beneficial things to your body. So for the price point at 4 cents a drop,
yes,
wouldn't you rather have health benefits from it? Right. Might as well, right?
Yes, and especially if I can drink it. So I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will ask those who have questions to reach out to you. I will be sharing your email. Which is the best site to reach you?
I'm sorry, what's the question there, Sandra?
I'm sorry. I was talking about how to contact you. I will be sharing your email below in the comments.
That's great.
Also, your website, can you please tell me your website again?
Yes, it's cynthiajean.coachesconsole.com.
Perfect. I'll place in the link.
Perfect.
Place a link below so you can reach out to Cynthia.
Yep.
So we are coming to the end of our quick chat this afternoon. It's almost night here in Connecticut. It's pretty dark outside. It has been a pleasure to have you here today. I really appreciate you teaching us about essential oils. It's there's so much confusion that by listening to somebody who has spent time learning about it, who has been using it with herself and her family. Cynthia is a mother, as many of us here in this group, and you heard her story. She used, even with as she went through a very emotional period in her life with the passing of her grandmother. So there's many things you can tell that she is really sharing with us what is dear to herself, something that talks to her heart. So Cynthia, thank you so much for being here today.
Absolutely, my pleasure. I really appreciate the invitation to share, and yes, this is from my heart. It is my business. and it's a heart-based business. So thank you so much for the opportunity to share with you all. I'm honored.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And I'll see you in a few weeks, in 2 more weeks for the next Expat Joy series.